We are back. Jason.
Hey. Katie still.
Boardgame Mechanics. You know the drill. We're going to talk about more games that are outside our top 100, but are better than bad games. So they're good games. 101 to 200 is where we are in this. But today we're going to talk about 134 to something. We'll stop whenever we want to.
It's the 100 outside the 100.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
I think I've been saying the 100 beyond the 100 or something like that. Something like that. I'm better at writing words than I am talking words, so we'll deal with that.
Considering how often I tell you to correct what you've written, that's disturbing.
Yeah, that means my words are real bad. All right, so no more of this small talk. We'll just go ahead and get started. And Katie, what's your 134?
So at 134 is a game that is brand new that lots of people have been telling me. The game itself isn't brand new. It's brand new to me. A lot of people kept telling me to play it because it's so pretty. It's thematically for me. And I played it, and I don't own it yet. Don't we have a copy now?
No, this is Chris's.
I thought you were trying to get a copy of it.
Brandon tried to get one on Shop Goodwill, but he's a miser and he failed. He's
Okay.
an even bigger miser than me.
So the game is Tang Garden. This game is so pretty. You're not working together because it's not cooperative, but you are all building on this beautiful garden. And so you can put gazebos, you can put bridges, you can have trees, you can have koi fish, flowers.
Lots of flowers. 4 different kinds of flowers.
You can even
Birds.
Birds. You can do surrounding. I don't care about birds. You can do like surrounding backdrops, which have like dragons and like temples and houses. And you're doing this with these characters that you want to kind of build off of these different decorations to score points.
Mm-hmm. Basically it's a tile laying game at its heart. But
Yes. So you're taking tiles from these couple different sections, or then you're trying to place these decorations.
like Carcassonne, but fun.
Yeah. Which, of course, with an Asian theme, and the artwork is beautiful, and it's got all these fun little bits, and you can put your little people inside the pagodas and on the bridges. Oh. And so,
awesome.
Yeah, I think if we actually owned it, so we'll maybe work on owning it at some point, because I enjoyed it. It would move up higher, but I feel like it's a relaxing game, yet you're still trying to figure out, okay, how do I maximize my points? How do I move these different tracks up, because they're going to give me points as well as allow me to get more figures to place to start making more points. What kind of decorations can I work with? Where can they go so that I can build points off of that? I like there's multiple paths to victory, obviously, and it's so pretty and tactile and fun. So my 134, Tang Garden.
Yeah, had I made my list later, this probably would have been on mine.
Yeah, I bumped off something stupid to put this in.
Yeah.
Because I liked it.
Katie did some fake news with her list, so that's where we are. All right, so my number 134 is a game that Katie's already talked about on the podcast because she likes it a lot more than me. Mm-hmm. And I've just spent like 2 hours on this game putting new shiny sleeves, which we'll see in a video coming up later. Yeah. And it's Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle or Battle for Hogwarts. I'm not sure what the actual title is.
It's Hogwarts Battle, I'm pretty sure.
Harry Potter, some kind of battle.
You looked at the box for 2 hours, but you still don't know the name of the game.
You're right, because I was focused on the sleeves. And this is a deck builder. It's kind of a campaign-style deck builder where you're taking on the role of one of the students from the books. So Harry, Hermione, Ron, all those people. Maybe Luna if you have an expansion, or Ginny. Mm-hmm. And you're trying to fight the Death Eaters, the people who are bad. And you can go start with box 1 to get the hang of it, and then you can move into box 2, which incorporates some new cards into box 1, and just kind of expands as you go on. When you get to box 7, you have everything, and it becomes impossible. So if you like Harry Potter, you like deck builders, or you want to introduce somebody to a deck builder, this would probably be a good one because the gameplay is simple. Mm-hmm. It's basic deck builder stuff, but you're also working together. So it's a cooperative deck builder, which kind of helps teach stuff, which I don't like as much, but a lot of people like it. So my number 134, Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle.
I try so hard. Thank you, Tim. I try so hard to keep my face neutral.
No, she doesn't.
Sometimes. Like, I try to be like, okay, play
I
cool.
did a great job explaining that one.
Well, so you said it was from the books, but that's really based on the movies.
Whatever.
And then I thought you were going to talk about like the fact that you can expand on it like even more. Like we have the potions expansion and the Beast Monster Box of Monsters.
Box of Monsters, yeah.
And
Charms and Potions is the
expansion. And you didn't.
Because it wasn't important. I was talking about the base game.
And the beauty of this game is how thematic it is.
I can't see your face when we're doing the podcast, Tim, but I'm assuming it's like what you saw here, but more. So there's that.
As much as I don't want to record myself anymore, I feel like that should be like a Patreon level where you can see my reactions to Jason's talking during the podcast.
Just like a GoPro, like staring at your face.
It's a lot of eye rolling and sighing, as you can imagine, and head shaking. My 133 is a game. I think we've only played this once. I think I won, so that's probably why I really liked it.
Oh, yeah.
But it also has like tangible bits.
Tim's gonna like this one.
Yes, it's After the Empire. So After the Empire kind of has a couple different phases in this game. So there's worker placement happening because you have to get resources and things in order to build up your castle. I'm not big on castle defense games or anything like that. Like, I don't love that. But there's something about putting the little turrets on and the different... That's so cool. And they can be wooden or they can be stone, I think. Are the two types of construction materials?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We only played it once. I can't remember.
Two types of construction materials.
Brown and gray.
So I'm going to go with wood and stone. And then having people there to help fight. So you're doing that kind of in this first couple of phases. Like... gathering resources. There's even some cards that you can collect to help maximize things. You have to be able to feed your military as well, your army. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you do.
I remember.
I have like such a better relationship with this game than you.
I didn't care for this one, so I kind of blocked it out.
It's because you were terrible at it.
I was awful. Like, I basically shouldn't have even played. I could have sat out, not even listened to the rules, come back and played, and done probably better. That's how terrible I was.
So you're building up your tower, your castle, and your defenders inside, and then kind of this next phase, attack happens. The not so great, and why this is probably low, I don't own it, and also that the actual attacking can be a little convoluted.
A little?
Once you get the process, it's not that bad. They need like a player aid that says, okay, here's attack. This happens. You defend. Okay, who's left? Okay, you do this. Okay, I think that would help if there's like a flow.
Yeah, I guess it's basically a Euro game trying to throw in some tower defense elements. And I think they should have stayed in their lane and just left the Euro game.
I like it because I think it is a neat corporation. I don't feel like it feels super tacked on. It's like the next level progression. Like, why am I gathering these resources and building up this tower? Oh, because it's going to get freaking attacked.
No one cares about that. We don't care about that.
Yes!
We want to just grow the resources.
And my idea, it's like role player. Like,
yeah, you're
when you move into that second part, which I really want and we don't have.
That's true.
That like, why am I doing this? And then there's this reason. I think thematically it works well, and I think I really like that about it. I think there's again lots of different ways to go about it. Am I really going to build up my defenses? Am I going to build up my army? Am I going to do these other things? They're kind of helping in the background. There's other ways to get points. Like, how do I keep everyone fed and we're not sacrificing these people I've worked to build up and that I need to kind of defend it? It was really fun. I would love to play this again. Chris is probably like, I break it all the time. You don't play it.
No, he's only brought it once, I think.
Okay, I like it. So if he's going to get rid of it...
I would play it again because maybe I would do better this time. I like the worker placement part a lot. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I just didn't care for the second part.
It is, and it's kind of tight worker placement too. So you're trying to figure out ways that you can get the same things without having to go to some of these really hot spaces and like work around that. So I really liked it. 133 After the Empire.
All right, so my number 133 is based on a video game. Now, I've been told that if I play a board game about a video game, I should probably play the video game. But you're not my boss. And I don't want to play this video game because this video game looks stupid. But this board game is called Minecraft, Builders and Biomes. It also looks stupid. It looks terrible. But this is actually a really fun game. And it's an adventure game where you're going to take control of one of the little people from Minecraft. I don't know, his name's like Bob or something. Oh. And you're on this grid and you're exploring different locations. You're going to go to a space that's between 4 different things. If there's something that's not flipped up, you're going to flip it up. So it could be a building tile, could be a monster, could be some kind of weapon that you're going to use. And then you can either move, and then you can do some kind of attacking or taking a tile or whatever and build. But the cool thing about this is there's this tower of Minecraft cubes. They're green, blocks. Brown, blocks. Brown, green, tan, and natural.
There's no gray? I thought there's
gray, yes, gray and natural. There's 4 different colors. And you're trying to collect these different blocks to build the building tiles that are out on the board. So you're trying to fill out this little tableau in front of you with certain types of buildings to score points. Because each round's going to score a different way. You're going to score a terrain type, then you're going to score like a building type, and then you're going to score like a thing inside a building. Could be a picture, could be like a tree or whatever. So you're trying to get different things on these grids. You're trying to fight monsters to score points. You're trying to get better weapons to score points, because when you fight monsters, you're going to go through these, you're going to shuffle these stack of like weapon tiles, and you're going to flip them. You got to exceed or equal the attack of the monsters. I'm sure more people are familiar with that than me, so I don't know why I'm explaining it, but you can fail. You can get the potatoes or whatever they are. I don't play the game. And nothing happens. You don't die, but you just don't also get any points. It's a really fun game. It's super cheap everywhere. Shop Goodwill has it all the time. Yeah. It looks not good. Like, it honestly looks not good.
Well, I think it's because, speaking as a kid from like the 80s, we had 8-bit graphics because that's all we had.
That's true.
So now that we have things that look like reality, like, why would we go back to that? That's what I can't understand about Minecraft. So I think that's why it looks so terrible to me. I'm like, oh god.
It is a fantastic game, and it plays in, no matter how many people you're playing, about 45 minutes. Will not take more than an hour, and you're going to have a fun time the whole time. It's great. So and if I played it more, it'd probably be higher because I really do like it. My number 134 or 133, Minecraft Builders and Biomes.
My 132 is a game that Jason, for some reason, can't play, and I don't know why. And we've never progressed past the first scenario, and I think it could be good.
We've never even played it in real time either.
No, I feel like that's unnecessary. So the game is called London Dread. London Dread is this cooperative game. It's there's part of it that's real time. It's like where you program, and then the rest of the game you fulfill your program. So it has like a loose, I think it has a Cthulhu theme.
Yeah, it's like horror, like it's like Lovecraftian theme. I don't know if it necessarily has Cthulhu in it because again we
haven't gotten far enough to know if he shows up.
Scenario yet. There's no Cthulhu in the first scenario.
No, not the 3 times we played it. Yeah, I'm not as good at the Cthulhu noise. So you go around and you're investigators, so you're working through an actual like story. So you're going to different locations, and so you're flipping things so you can find all the parts of the plot. But everything that you flip over is an encounter that you have to deal with during gameplay. And so there's things to overcome. You each, as an investigator, have a background and some things that you bring to the table, and you're also rolling, trying to mitigate things. Then you're planning your time on this clock. Where can I go to meet this encounter? I need help. Can we meet at the same place? Programming that, and then having those encounters roll out. And then at the end, you have kind of a big boss type battle. I don't understand why you don't understand this game.
I don't know. I've read the rule book twice. I've watched Rado's video with Jen twice. I don't understand. I'm pretty good at picking up games. I maybe can't explain them the best all the time, but I know how to play games. This is one that is like my nemesis.
I want to play it again in like a new scenario, or maybe we need to bring in an extra person.
Maybe we need to bring somebody who's good with, and maybe they can help us.
Right. Brandon played with us once.
Yeah, he's not helpful.
He wasn't helpful. He's never going to watch this video anyway. You weren't helpful, Brandon. You won't watch this video. Yeah, maybe we need a different person to help us figure it out. I felt like we were doing fine.
It just seemed like we were doing something wrong because it was too easy. That's what I thought.
I don't think it was...
I felt like the Doom track was irrelevant. That was my, like...
But that was just the last time. Like, everything rolled well. There was time before where it was like, we were totally screwed.
Because we were clearing every single card. That's true.
Yeah, so we just planned better. When you play the same scenario 3 times, you're bound to get better at it.
You get pretty good at it.
So that's why I went through to London Dread. There is like an app that does some like background track, like
creepy music,
creepy
And
music,
narration.
creepy
Yeah,
narration.
yeah.
I think this could be really like thematic, environmentally kind of fun to work through. If I can get Jason to figure it out. So 132 London Dread.
We'll figure it out at some point, maybe.
One of these days. I forget who makes that.
It's Grey
Is
Fox.
it Grey Fox?
Yeah. So my number 132, also a creepy theme.
Ooh.
A really weird theme.
Oh, I looked at 131 and was like, what?
Oh no, that's a great theme. My 132 is Don't Turn Your Back. And it's behind me. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like right there. This is a deck builder, but it's also a worker placement game. And you're using the cards, which are multi-use cards, to go to different locations on this board to do things. And I think you might have talked about it. It was in your top 100 or something.
Yes, it was my top 100.
So I'm going to draw a hand of cards. Each of these cards are going to be able to be used in one location or multiple locations. Each location on the board is going to give you some different things that you can do. Like I may go to the city, I forget what it's actually called, but the top row of the board, and that allows me to use my card as a buying power to acquire more cards. I may go to the high school, which is going to be like an area majority thing. Whoever has the most pain in the high school, because high school is pain, is going to score some points, get their cards back, and everybody else is stuck there. I may go to the bazaar to use the special ability on my card to help me get some other things. And I may go over to the special rules section to fight the event to help me get some candles. The whole point of the game is to get candles. And everybody has the same cards in their deck, their starting deck, and we all have the same cards in our own personal market deck that we can buy from, but they're going to come out in different orders. So we all eventually could have the same cards, but they're going to be played in different orders. So we're trying to fight all that and do all that. You're going to play over 7 rounds, and whoever has the most candles is the winner. It's a weird theme. It's dark. It's weird. I can't say weird enough.
The artwork is creepy.
Yeah, it's based on some RPG. It's a evil hat game. They have some RPG, don't close your eyes or don't jump your monkey or something. I don't know.
It's don't close your eyes.
But if you like interesting games, this is definitely one you should check out because it is interesting and it's fun. And using the cards as the workers, I think is cool. So my number 132, Don't Turn Your Back.
Yeah. My 131 is a game I want to play more. But the last time I played it, we played it with Brandon, and I had a terrible experience. So, that was part of the problem. So 131 is Spell Smashers. I really like this game. It's a word game, which as much as I love words, it is my job, it is my life. I am terrible at word games because I just want to make fun, interesting words and use all of my cards. And that doesn't always work with actual strategy. And in this game, I like how it's not just making words, like scoring them. You're using your words to actually attack monsters, which I think is a really cool idea because the pen is mightier than the sword. Like,
I think this game's awesome. I don't know where it's on my list, but I like it.
We need to play it more. So this is from Renegade. I can see the box. That's what I'm saying.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's Renegade. The artwork is kind of fun.
It looks like it has Miko art, just looking at it.
It does kind of. I don't know that for sure.
Is, but it looks like it.
You are playing letters to make words to then attack these monsters. And then some of your letters have certain like elemental powers that will help you fight better against certain types of monsters. You can also like cash in at a tavern to get other like scoring opportunities or special bonuses. There are certain letters that you then get to hang around with you, like always like a permanent kind of equipment, weapon type thing. I like that it uses like the classic like making word games, Scrabble, Wordsy, what's the other one that has two?
Paperback, hardback.
Paperback, yeah. But gives those words like purpose. So it's kind of got a little bit of an extra element to it.
And it's a dungeon crawl. We own a dungeon crawl. So
it's not really a dungeon crawl.
You're fighting monsters in a dungeon.
No, you're not. They like show up to your town. And you're like fighting
Maybe
them
they
out.
were in a dungeon. You go down to the
well,
dungeon.
I assume at some point, yes, but it's not really a dungeon crawl. You're not working through a dungeon.
I am imagining that I'm crawling in a
You
dungeon.
wouldn't know a dungeon if it smacked you in the face. You don't know anything about dungeon crawls.
That's probably true.
So my 131 is Spell Smashers. Not a dungeon crawl, but still a really good game.
You're a dungeon crawl. All right. My number 131, greatest game of all time. But I can't.
It's not number one, so you're
I can't really do that because then I would feel real bad for putting it up real high. It's Electronic Mall Madness. I've done a live play with my youngest daughter. I haven't officially done a video, but the live play is on YouTube. We've talked about it a ton. It's amazing. I missed out on this because I wasn't a girl, and apparently only girls played this game. I didn't play it, but it's a roll and move game effectively. But the way this one works is it's got this electronic little thing in the middle of the board. You're going to push the button, and it's going to tell you which color is going to move and how many spaces you can move. You're trying to get to different stores in the mall to buy certain products. You need to be the first person to buy a certain amount of products and then get out of the mall. Some stores are going to be on sale. Some stores are going to be on clearance. But then sometimes when you go to the mall try to buy something, you'll swipe your credit card, out of stock, or too long of a line and you can't buy anything at all. So you just wait.
Too busy, try again later.
Yep. And the voice is super annoying. So annoying. But this game has no business being as fun as it is. I love it. We've seriously played this. I looked back through my tracker. I have 15 plays of this game.
You
just
have
this year.
No business being as good at this as you are.
I'm amazing at it.
Because I have played this a lot. When it came out, I played it all the time. My sister and I, like, constantly, we played it.
No one's better at electronic mall madness than me.
I got a trophy made up.
I showed Rory who was boss when we played live. I didn't even feel bad about it.
He makes her daughter cry repeatedly at this game.
But yeah, if you can find it and you like silly old busted games, definitely play it. It's roll and move. It doesn't have a ton of strategy, but it's fun, and that's all that matters. So 131, Electronic Mall Madness.
It is fun. I don't think it's even on my list. As much as I like it, it's just...
Well, it's new to me, so it's like... yeah. Even though it's old and busted, it's like shiny and new to me, so that's kind of why.
It's just nostalgia for me at this point. Oh, crap. Sometimes I put it too high, and sometimes I put it too low, and then I just hit it either way.
I never do that at all.
You don't use your hands when you talk.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Oh, man. So my 130 is a game I really like. Stop it, I'm going to punch you. And I want to play it more, but it really needs higher player counts to make it like gel well, and that's Colosseum. I feel like you've talked about this game. I don't know if it's on a video or
it might have been on my top 100.
So in this game, you're staging a production at the Colosseum. And so you've got these cards that you're trying to fulfill to have all these different like set pieces. And you get those through these auctions, and then you're also, like, there's a lot of player interaction because you're probably never going to get everything you need from just, like, the one kind of drafting auction. So then you try to negotiate. Then you want to get and move these influential people
so they can watch your stuff. To
sit inside your Colosseum to watch this awesome production you've put on with all these different set pieces. You might have lions. You might have gladiators.
And you made this sound way more thematic. It's a bidding game and set collection game. That's it. But that is the theme. That's the theme.
The theme makes the game make sense, and it makes it easier
that's
to
true.
teach.
That's true. It does. It does. You're right.
Quit raining on my games. You're like, oh, it's Dungeon Crawl. Lies. That is the theme. Anyway, Colosseum's a really good game. 130. I'm done.
It is a good game. You're right. My number 130, Meadow. Done. Meadow is a game. It came out this year, I think. You played that, right?
Yeah, it's card drafting, tableau building. Done.
Yeah, done. There you go. Yeah. You're trying to build, I guess, a meadow. You're also trying to build some kind of buildings, apparently. It's drafting. Yeah, I don't know. You're basically using these pieces, and you're drafting kind of like Cat Lady style, if you've ever played that, or Santa Monica. You're putting a piece down, and it's going to let you draft in a row or a column one of those cards. The tricky part is you only have certain amounts of those tiles to use, so you're going to eventually be able to not take the card that you want. And then you're trying to, like, grow this landscape out in front of you from, like, grass up to, like, different kinds of bugs, different properties. You may find some lost property in some buildings. Score points. It's a set collection tableau building, like Katie said. Done. 130 Meadow.
Don't worry, Scott. You didn't miss anything.
Yes, you
Hope
did.
Hope Eloise was good.
You missed so much. So much. Katie made fun of me a whole lot. Which is nothing new, I guess.
My 129. Oh, Tim, if you're still awake, you just got this game. My 129 is The Hunger. So this is super new.
It's like new hotness. Call us Man versus Meeple. We got games.
No, Man versus Meeple had this game like 2 years ago. I would be happy to talk about how much I hate brass. Happy to. In fact, anytime anyone else mentions Smarty Wallace, I will rail against brass. Ooh, that's a pun right there.
She just doesn't like brass because she doesn't like fun. That's what it is. Brass is fun and she doesn't like it.
I think Marty Wallace is allergic to fun. Nothing about his game says positivity to me. Anyway, The Hunger. So it's a vampire-themed game, which I really like. So in this, you're vampires, you're leaving your castle, and you're going into the countryside, and you are biting humans. If the humans are drunk, they're going to confuse you. So it's like you're building this deck of humans, and then also your like vampiric abilities. You can also get familiars, other things that are going to help you in your movement, help you gain points. And then you're trying to get humans that are going to help you move, give you blood, hopefully not confuse you. But then they do ultimately kind of clog up your deck unless you can get familiars or other cards that work with those humans. You're going to try to go as far as you can because you want to get as much stuff as you can, but you have to be back before the sun rises or you would turn to ash. You know, like vampires do.
If you have the most points, and still lose.
Yes. It's really hard, I think. I felt like it was difficult to move around the board, but I like the artwork. I like that it's really thematic. Like, it makes sense to me. Oh, yeah. Of course I have to come back before the sun comes up. Oh, of course if I suck this intoxicated villager's blood, I'd be a little confused and maybe stumble the wrong way, not back to the castle. I think there's a lot of really neat things going on here. I think there's some missed opportunities as far as some of the mechanics go that would make it even better. So that's why it's this low on my list. Otherwise, I think it would be much higher.
I think it was in my top 100.
It was. You just talked about it last week.
Oh, yeah.
I'm almost sure.
Yeah.
So my 129 is The Hunger.
My number 129 is a game I don't think you like. It sounds like something you wouldn't like.
Is it brass? Because that game sucks.
It's not brass. It's the Lord of the Rings cooperative game.
Ugh.
That one right there.
It's as ugly as brass.
Well, yes. I was trying to defend it, but no, it's pretty bad. It's got the same clip art on the cards and all that kind of thing. So this is not a deck building game, a cooperative game where each player is taking on the role of one of the different roles of the Fellowship. I think there's Sam, Frodo, of course, Merry, Pippin, and then some rando dude. I don't remember who the rando dude is, but the fifth player is some rando guy.
Don't you have to be telling Meadow?
No, it's some like other hobbit. Like Jeff. There's some other hobbit.
Jeff the Hobbit.
But whatever, all that aside, what you're trying to do is you're trying to, effectively, you're trying to make it through the different boards in the Lord of the Rings. So you're going to start out and you're trying to play different cards that have different types of icons on them to defeat the icons that are on the board. I've only played it a few times and I can't really remember, but if something can happen and Sauron can move down a track towards closer to the hobbits, if a hobbit ever meets Sauron, the game's over. So you're trying to balance out, how much you're moving Sauron, how much you're trying to move yourself forward, because sometimes you can move yourself forward to take really good actions, but you're getting closer to Sauron. And you have to play through 4 or 5 different boards, and if you can eventually throw the ring in Mount Doom, you win. I've never made it that far because it's hard. But I do like it. I played it solo, made it through the first board, and then I died. So if it's not the first board, I don't really know what's going on. So 129, Lord of the Rings.
This game is awful too.
It's not awful.
It is. It's awful. The artwork is
Who cares
ugly.
about art?
The gameplay is like
London has bad art.
clunky. Don't you insult London. Like, we can't confuse
I don't
the
like
turd
brass.
that is brass with the amazingness that is
I don't like brass, but I like London. It looks just as bad. London is a better game. I'm going to give you that.
Thank you. That's the whole point. Oy. My 128 is, I would consider it a party game because it can play large numbers. I like this game. No one else seems to like this game except for me, so I never get to play it. And that is Deception, Murder in Hong Kong.
Yeah, that tracks.
And by no one, I mean Jason mostly. So then when I do get to play it, he like poops on it, and then no one else will like it because he's just gone and pooped on it the whole
I
time.
do not poop on it. Whenever I play these games, I play the games like you're supposed to play the games. We played a 9-player game of Growl. It was probably not recommended, and I played it like I was supposed to play the game. I play the games correctly. I just am hating it inside.
Except you vocalize it outside when we play this game. So, Deception Murder in Hong Kong, there is one player who is the forensic investigator. I think that's their name.
Yes.
And they kind of help orchestrate the game. So one person is the murderer. If you have larger player counts, there's also an accomplice. There could be a witness. So there's these several different kind of roles people can take on. Sorry. Goodness. Excuse me. In front of everyone, there are weapons and there are evidence cards. Thank you, Tim. Thank you. It is an excellent game.
I don't need this from you. Go to bed, Tim.
Thanks, Tim. Play it. Forget you. I'm sure Dan likes it.
What?
Description. It is awesome. So.
Did he mean description or did he mean deception?
Deception. I don't know. My description is awesome, and deception is also awesome.
Whatever you meant, Fred. Yeah, both of them are awesome. You're right.
We'll give Fred grace. He's one of my favorites.
That's true.
So everyone closes their eyes. The murderer will then pick in front of someone, in front of themselves. I mean, not someone. In front of themselves, the weapon they're going to use and the evidence they'll leave behind. Then the hard part is the forensic investigator is going through these cards that sometimes have nothing to do with what the person has shown them. Like,
it's rough.
What is the weather like? Frick if I know. You know, like, so you can't say anything, really. You just put these bullets on one particular answer and hope that it leads the people to pick the right person.
The forensic scientist is supposed to say nothing.
Right.
But we never play like that because... yeah.
I try not to say anything.
I know, but it's hard.
Sometimes I'm like, this may not help you.
Yeah, it's hard to sit there in complete silence for, especially if you're playing an hour game. Like, you sit there in silence
or
for an
people
hour.
flounder.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. And so then there's the interaction of saying, oh, well, they chose that it was rainy. I think that someone used this muddy footprint was the evidence left behind, maybe. And so that you're trying to figure out who the actual murderer is. And if they have an accomplice, all this. You can kill people. No, you can't kill people. You just you make a choice. You each have like a little investigator token or something that says, hey, I'm going to use this and I'm going to say it's so-and-so. Well, I'm going to say it's so-and-so and they use this and this. You have to get both pieces right in order to be right. So it can sometimes be tricky that way. It usually sorts itself out that the group wins.
Everybody's the killer's trying to throw you off. And we've never really played it with the fun extra roles like the witness, or we have the expansion that has even more roles. They can play to like 15 people or something.
We do?
Yeah, we backed it on Kickstarter.
Why don't we ever play that?
Because we never play the game. I never play the game.
There you have it. So 128. I wish I could play it more. Deception, Murder in Hong Kong.
My number 128 is a little card game. And I think somebody talked about it. Yeah, you like it better than me. I like it. And the more I play it, I actually like it. It probably would have been lower if we didn't play it before we did this list. And it's called Dark Tales. So this is a game based on like fairy tales, grim fairy tales, right? Over there. And basically, it's just basically a draw a card, play a card game. But the way that you're doing that is you're trying to play cards down. They're going to interact with other cards that are already out on the board. There's going to be some cards that you're going to play to the middle of the board that everybody can play off of. You're going to have some of your own cards down in front of you that only you can use. And then you're going to have some cards that are going to let you manipulate some stuff that your other players have. Like maybe you could eat some of their characters if you're playing Red Riding Hood, or you can give them a poison apple and it'll kill Snow White or whatever. It's just a fun game. It's easy to play. It's pretty quick. There's different types of in-game goals that you can achieve to score points. Everything you do in this game scores points. Every card is going to give you some kind of point. If you play it down in front of you, it's going to give you some other points. You're going to get hundreds and hundreds of points in this game. There's so many points. And it's fun. It has really amazing art. It has tarot-sized cards. It has Little Red Riding Hood, Snow White, Cinderella, Little Mermaid. 4 expansions, plus the base game. So there's tons of variability, tons of cards. And it's fun. So if you like little card games that are easy to play and easy to teach and give you a lot of points, check it out. 128, Dark Tales.
I actually think it was lower on my list because I believe I talked about it on a video because we showed.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, my 127 is about Cthulhu. That's right. And that game is Ancient Terrible Things. So this is a kind of a Yahtzee-esque game in some ways, where you're trying to defeat or maybe hit these different goals at these different locations through dice rolling. However, if you're unsuccessful, it's not the worst thing in the world. But you are also can collect like things that'll help you maybe later on as you're trying to defeat these things. You're trying to, I think once you defeat so many, the game ends. I was trying to think what the track is. Is it when you go through all these cards?
What game are we talking about?
Ancient Terrible Things.
Yes, you have to complete all the cards. Yes. Sorry.
And then each card that you complete gives you points. But I don't generally love Cthulhu games. I don't generally love like Super Yahtzee style games. But there's enough like other things going on, ways to mitigate the dice rolls, like ways to kind of go about getting things, like using what you have to kind of help conquer some stuff that I think makes it a much more interesting game than some of the other Yahtzee style games. So that's why it's kind of higher on my list. So my 127, Ancient Terrible Things.
I thought I talked about this on the podcast.
I think you talked about it on a video.
I don't know. I like this game. It's fun. As far as Yahtzee games go, I like this one. Where are we at?
Are you sure? Do you know what game we're talking about?
Yeah, sorry. I was reading something.
I thought we were here to do a live video, talk about our 100 out beyond the 100.
My number 127, HomeStretch, racing horses. Done. No, it's a good game. It's a roll and move game, effectively. You're betting on which horse you think is going to come in first, second, or third, or, show, place, win. I think it's win, place, show. And if you can bet correctly, you're going to earn a pile of cash. If you have a stake in the horse, an ownership stake, I think there's 3 for each horse. If you have one of those, you're going to get some money. If you have 2, you're going to get twice as much money. If you have all 3, you're going to make all the money if the horse wins. And you're just trying to have the most money. Play 4 races, I think. And whoever has the most money, which is around the track, is the winner. So, 127 HomeStretch.
This game is so stupid. It's a roll and move game.
It's really stupid.
It should not be as fun as it is. But you're like, oh, okay. And you first start, you're like, okay, I guess I'll bet here, whatever. And then suddenly you're like, yeah, go 7. Like, oh, what are you doing? You're going to the Blue Factory. And you're like, well, I'm yelling at these little horse miniatures.
It has the same feeling as like Camelot.
It does. It's good. My 126 is one that could possibly be higher if we played it more. I felt like, I think we only have a prototype. And I felt like if we played it more, it would be easier to play and we would know better. And that's Pandemain. There's a subtitle. Pandemain Traditional Farmer's Bread.
Yep.
And I love that.
Talk about a dry theme.
No, I love that theme. I think it's so cool. You're making bread. That's a cool theme. So
that's true. It is different.
Getting the different types of grain that you need to make different types of bread. Like, am I going to make a rye? Am I going to make a wheat? Am I going to, I think that's fun. So it's getting that. It's being able to go to the mill, get those flour that you need. Then can you bake it? Can you deliver the bread that you've made? Some bread is like holy bread that you take, right?
Yeah, you can give bread as like offerings to the church.
Yeah. To help you. I think the concept's neat. I really liked it when we played it. I just felt like we didn't know the rules well enough, so it was kind of clunky to get through.
Yeah, well...
And I don't know if the rules are clunky or we just didn't execute them well.
In the game's defense, it was designed... It's a Mexican company, and they had a translated rule book that they sent me to English. Oh. So I'm going to say some of it was lost in translation.
Why don't we just read it in Spanish? We could have figured out enough.
That would have taken way too long. I can barely read in English.
Okay. But I love that theme, and I think that concept is really fun, and I think to play it more, and even if we need to house rule it to kind of get it to go, I think it would probably move up if I played it more as far as the worker placement goes and making the most of the time that you have, because there's a day phase and a night phase as well, because you can do certain things during the day, and at night, are you going to stay up baking bread? How are you going to just take your time, choose your actions? I really liked it. So 126, Pandemain Traditional Farmer's Bread. Is this even out?
I think the Kickstarter is in process of delivering.
Okay.
I don't know if we're actually getting a copy of it though, so I still have the busted one back there. It's in some makeshift box that I made.
It was so fun though.
It is fun. I think I would like it more. I don't know where it is on my list, if it is even on the list, but it seemed every action that you did seemed like it was the most convoluted action in the world. So even if you're going to a worker placement space, it felt like VTOL almost. Like you go to the space and there's like 100 things you can do there. And then if there's another person there, there's different things you can do because they steal some of the... It's crazy. But once you figure it out, it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Please show the busted box.
Oh, okay. You want me to get it while you talk about it?
Right down there in the bottom.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Bottom right.
You give your 126.
My number 126
Left.
is A Days of Wonder game. And it is from Bruno Catala and a different co-designer, and I can't remember the name.
Not that box. It was just...
Yeah, that's Concordia, not that one.
So heavy.
That one's not busted, it's just big. And this is effectively, I think Katie talked about it already, this is a game where you're trying to build routes to build buildings. And the way you're doing that is you're putting different color ships down around these tiles, and you're going to be able to get buildings based on the different color ships that are around the hexes. You're building like contracts, so your network is also going to be like the resources that you're using to build the buildings. There's different kinds of buildings you can build. There's different assistants that you can recruit to help you build. There's different boats you can acquire. There's different... I can't remember.
Are you sure?
Yes, all that stuff is in Yamatai. Yes, I'm 100% sure.
You haven't even said the name of the game.
Yamatai, if I didn't say that. Sorry, I said it was from Days of Wonder, then I just went off on a tangent. Yamatai, all those things I said are about Yamatai. And I like it. We haven't played it that much. Honestly, if we played it more, it'd probably be higher because I like Bruno Catala. And I like Days of Wonder. And this looks amazing on the table. So, my number 126, Yamatai. And now for the busted box.
So, he just basically cut the box and taped it to another, like, these parts off.
It's Steve Jackson. It's an old Steve Jackson game called, what is it? It's like you're writing on a board and you're like drawing.
Car Wars?
Interplanetary.
I don't know. So he took that box and just cut and pasted, not even cut and pasted, he just actually
cut and taped,
packing taped it onto said box.
Because they sent it in like just a cardboard box, like a mailing box. I was like, I gotta have a box. So I had a game that I'm not going to play, and I made it into this box. And it looks fine enough.
If from far away, if you don't look
fine.
closely, it's fine. Then you're like, oh, why is everything...
What kind of game is this? Oh, it's a space roll and write game.
No, it's...
a space writing game.
It's packing taped about bread.
We won't do that. We'll go here.
Yeah, we'll take care of it later. My 125 is a game you have talked about, and it's a deck builder because I love them, and that is Legendary. We haven't played.
It's not a C+, that's an A box.
C+ is generous. Fred, thank you.
3D box art.
It is. It's like touchable. It's got some tangible. At least you didn't like tape bread on there.
Thanks, Fred. I appreciate your compliment, even though it's pandering. It's fine.
So Legendary, great deck builder. I like it because I prefer Marvel to DC as a franchise, I guess you could say. And I really love to play with the X-Men. So you are taking on...
X-Force.
Not X-Force. You're taking on the role of these heroes, so you're putting them into your deck so they can kind of work together to fight the baddies and rescue civilians. That's
it.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I always want to play the X-Men people because I like them a lot. That's like my jam.
And now that we watched Deadpool 2, Domino is freaking cool.
Yeah.
We're going to play with Domino.
You're veering off of what I'm talking about.
Sorry.
But anyway, it's fun. If you like, it's got like a little bit of a battle component, but it's not overwhelming. There's good synergy between the different types of cards to try to collect certain ones in your deck to make your deck really sing, which I love that. I also like to play it, unlike Jason, where, yes, it's cooperative, but there can still be a winner.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get the most points, you win.
I think we do end up playing like that every time.
Because I always count my points.
I just don't care. Yeah.
And I do care. So that's my 125 legendary.
My number 125, I think you've talked about already. It's about building a garden in Sanssouci. I think that's some kind of palace in Italy, France, Rome, Greece.
Why do you pretend to know geography? Don't even go there. Just say a place named Sanssouci.
It's some places not in America or Canada. I do know that. And
do you really know that it's not in Canada, though?
I do know that. Canada doesn't look like that, and they don't spell... Well, I guess they could have that. That's true. Okay, it's not in America. So this is a game where you're playing cards that are going to let you draft different kinds of tiles. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to make a path of certain types of fixtures in a garden, like a gazebo or whatever you call them, an arbor or gate archway, fountains, a maze. And you're trying to get your little guy from the top, a little noble guy, from the top as far down as you can in a row to score points. When they're at the top, they get no points, but when they're down, the farther down they go, the more points you're going to get. So you're trying to make a connected path for them to be able to walk to different spaces to score some points. You're going to have an in-game goal card where you're trying to get a certain type of garden fixture. You get extra points. That's the game. You're going to play over like 13, 14 rounds. Do the best you can.
It's tiling.
Get the most points. Yeah, it's all tiles. Placing a tile. There might be a gardener that's going to help you do some things. And then move your people. That's it. It's really fun. I got our copy at half price books. It's like $10 because I'm cheap. And it's really fun. So Fred backs it up. Fred likes it too. So my number 125, Sanssouci, however you say it.
Yeah, that sounds good. My 124, if we're doing some vintage games tonight. My 124 is Gambler.
Nice.
We've talked about Gambler on multiple occasions. We actually haven't played it for quite a while.
I know, it's been a while.
And that's sad. You moved it over here.
Oh yeah, I did. I forgot.
That's where, whenever we say again, we look somewhere, that's where it is in our room. Except I don't know where anything is because Jason regularly just moves stuff around. I don't know if he's trying to gaslight me or he just has some organizational problems.
Yes.
But
the organizational problems, not the gaslighting. I try not to do that too much.
Good luck. I'm not big-minded enough to be gaslighted by you. In Gambler, you're trying to get the most money. You're trying to hit 100,000.
I think it's 1,000. Yeah, it's lower denominations than money. Go for broke.
Yeah, $1,000. And you do this by it's roll and move. But you're buying lottery tickets. You're betting on the ponies. It's got the dice maraca, if you will.
Oh, it's a great component.
So it's a round thing, dice here, and it gets real skinny because you shake the dice and they come down. So you're just playing all these like little mini games to try and hit $1,000 before everyone else. You might have to lose. There's almost like a community chest type thing. You might have to give money. You might get money. It's a stupid game. It's got this awesome like Schoolhouse Rock kind of looking.
Yeah, our version does. There's other ones.
Ours does, which I think is the way to go as far as art is concerned. Because this really great like super 70s colors that I love. It's a Milton Bradley, I think, right?
Or Parker Brothers.
No, Parker Brothers. Yeah. Parker Brothers.
Those are like the two big dogs from
back. It's Parker Brothers. And I think everyone, it's pretty easy. I've had our youngest daughter play it some. My grandma actually played it and got it pretty well.
Chrissy's watching.
Chrissy, yes, Chrissy, you would like that game.
We should have busted that out.
We should have.
Yeah, that's a good one. And Go for Broke is good too. But
yeah, we failed. When we come out and visit you, we'll bring that game.
We'll bring all of our old and busted awesome games.
Yeah.
Bermuda Triangle too. You'll love that.
But it's really fun, and we really need to bring it out again. It's a nice one. It's nostalgic for a lot of people, so it's one of those games that you could bring out like around the holidays to get people to play games that don't really play games. It's really fun. So my 124, Gambler.
The thing that I like about the old games, like they're not the most strategic games in the world. I'm not saying that they are, but you can teach them to anybody. Like you play Gambler with your grandma. You say, hey, you roll the dice, you land in the space, you do the thing. There, I just taught you the game.
Done.
The hardest part is explaining when you're betting on the dice. That's the hardest part because they're pointing at different things.
What is that called? It's not a lottery. It's
the lottery.
No, the lottery are your tickets.
Yeah, but I don't remember.
It's called something else.
I grew.
Shoot.
Yeah, so Gambler's great. I'm not sure. It was on my list. I might have removed all the vintage games except for a few because we talked about the Gambler a lot, but it's pretty good. It's really good.
Solid. Fred, you're not old.
My number 124 is a game that I wanted to like more than I do because it has mechanisms that I like. But I also have Orleans, which is way better. So my number 124 is Paladins of the West Kingdom. And I make the comparison because they function kind of similarly. So in Paladins, you're going to get a card. You're going to pick a card that's going to give you some different color workers. Then there's going to be some cards flipped that you're going to be able to draft to take some more workers. So, and then you're going to use those workers to place them on your player board based on certain colors that the player board needs to take certain actions. You're trying to build fortresses. You're trying to send missionaries out into the field. You're trying to build garrisons out in the field. You're trying to fight off the outlaws. You're trying to convert the outlaws so they can give you in-game points. You're trying to recruit, hire some townspeople to come give you special abilities. You're trying to do this thing with these blue pots to get you points. It's just a lot of go to the space.
Do we own that? No.
Yeah, we do. We have that and the expansion. They sent it to us. So the reason I compare this to Orleans is because Orleans does a similar thing. You pull chits out of a bag, then you put them on your player board, and you do an action. But I like the way that Orleans implements it better. I think the game's not as long, and I think it doesn't get bogged down as much. So that's why I don't like this one as much. But this is still a fun game. If you've never played Orleans, this will be amazing. So my number 124, Paladins of the West Kingdom.
Yeah, I kind of dismissed it a little bit because I felt like why it is like overwhelming at first because I'm like, this is like Orleans, like it should be easy, but it's got a lot of other kind of factors, extra things going on. So I really need to play it again, and I don't know what the expansion adds or anything. So
it makes.
I didn't put it on my list.
I did a video. It literally makes the middle part of the board like this long. It goes from like it went across. I had to do it in two pieces because it would have taken up this whole entire table. It's insane. It adds two like long pieces to the middle board, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'd like to play it again. We haven't. Yeah. I've only done it like one time.
It's good. It's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
My 123 is a 2-player game, and it's really good. Jason just talked about this on the podcast, which is really high.
I like it a lot more than you.
I like it a lot. But again, I don't want to just play games with you. Or just with one other person. I want lots of people, which is why I like Deception. But for a 2-player game, this is so solid. And that 7 Wonders Duel. 7 Wonders, the regular game sucks. I'm sorry. That is one of the worst drafting games. It does not make any sense. But 7 Wonders Duel totally does. You can do different shapes of the cards that you lay out, and you are drafting cards, and then you're kind of doing this tableau thing and almost making an engine because you need to get certain resources in order to be able to build these other, I don't know, like different parts of different buildings in a city. And some of those will give you military might. Some of those are helping you like grow in your science and technology kind of knowledge. And so there are multiple paths to victory, and there's kind of this, how am I going to use this card? I could take it for money because you do need that often. If I take this card, am I going to then let somebody else get a better card? Do I want to do that? Do I just want to take this card to keep someone else from taking this because it's going to give them a science victory? You're going to let them like really link up. And I don't want them to have, the market on clay or whatever. There's a lot, like gameplay itself, super, super simple, but really like important choices. And that's why I really like it. So my number 123, 7 Wonders Duel.
Do you like it with the expansion or without the expansion? Do you remember the expansion?
That's where there's like the portals and stuff and the extra guys.
Like those extra guys, yeah.
It's okay. It is like a null factor in my opinion. I will play it with, I'll play it without. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think I actually prefer it without because it's cleaner. There's less stuff going on, which is rare for me because I usually like more stuff going on.
I know. I mean, I handily win either way.
Yeah, that's true. I'm pretty terrible.
I always build all of my wonders. Jason's like, dang it.
She's got like 4 built. I'm like, ugh. I've still got 1 built. Now I can build 3, but I've only built 1.
I'm like, can I just build your wonders? Because
it's terrible.
No, it's a good game.
All right, my number 123, I think you talked about already. It's a 2-player only game. and it's called Holmes, Sherlock, and Mycroft. This is a 2-player worker placement set collection game where you're sending your little workers out to different locations, and you are trying to acquire magnifying glasses, which is like the currency, and then you're trying to also use those magnifying glasses to find clues, which are basically going to be cards ranging from numbers 2 through 9 or 11 or something, to collect sets of cards. You're going to get points at the end of the game for if you have a majority of each set, minus however many of each set the other person has. So you're trying to have a lot more than them because you get more points. So it's kind of a battle, tug of war, I guess, of getting cards that you want. That's effectively all it is, worker placement with some set collection. And there's some bad guys that can show up and slap you around a little bit. So, my number 123, Holmes, Sherlock, and Mycroft.
Yeah, I think I tried that one already. I like it. It's simple, but I love anything Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, Fred, Seven Wonders is definitely a filler.
Did you have to spend an hour teaching?
Yes, and because I feel like things should make better sense, but you don't really have like a thematic movement in it. Why? There's so many other drafting games I can introduce you to that would be quicker, better.
Sushi Go. For one.
Sushi Go.
Yeah.
For just one. My 122, gosh, I really hope I remember this game. I like it. It was good, the experience I had, and that's Lewis and Clark, The Expedition.
Oh yeah, don't ask me. I can't even. I've played this game like 3 times and I still can't explain it.
It is a mess cleanup hours. So in Lewis and Clark Expedition, you are moving across the nation as Lewis and Clark, looking for your Northwest Passage, right? So as you're doing that, like, you like are wanting to get further, but sometimes you can't. Man, I only played this one time, but how do I move? Like, don't I have to have certain cards to allow me to move through certain places?
Yeah, so you have to play a card down in front of you, and then it has to be activated with other cards for up to like a 3 power ability that's going to let you like move on different terrain types, get a boat that lets you move farther. So everything you're doing is by playing
cards.
Yeah.
Which I like the concept of like, okay, can I get there? Which path am I able to actually navigate? Am I collecting enough things to help me? Oh, this is also where you're using the natives.
Yes, everybody is controlling the natives,
which
sounds
feels
awful.
terrible.
But like, you have workers, but they're not your workers. Like, if you put them on the main board, other people can recruit those natives to come work for them. So you're trying to like, I don't want to use these guys because I gotta keep them, but I need to use them. Yeah. Yeah.
Then you also have like a hand of cards with like dudes that help you on your journey. Some are better than others. They're helping you get food and be able to traverse in certain areas. I like the idea of working with exploration in that way. I need to play it more to really see where it's going to eventually land. Yeah, yes, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I totally agree.
I'm going to set up camp, but now I got to move back 92 spaces because I have all these boats full.
Yes, and so it's like managing what you have, what you're going to keep, what you need to give away. Okay, I can move forward really far, and then I'm going to slink back a little bit. And you're like,
I'm going to move forward 9 and come back.
You're like, yes, look at me, look at me. Just kidding, now you're ahead.
Yeah. And
you haven't moved at all. So I like kind of that push and pull, and I think the more I play it, I feel like the more I like it. I have not played the dice game.
Yeah, I've been trying to get. That's the Lois and Clark
Discoveries.
Yeah, Discovery. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he said that.
Ryan said it right there. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been wanting to play that one, but I got this one in a trade, which is why we have this one.
That's why we have. Of course we did. No, we did not go out and buy the game. We traded something else for it that we got for $5.
Who buys games? Come on.
But I do like it, and if Discoveries kind of streamlines it, maybe that might be a better fit. And maybe I just need to play this more. I think it makes it a little complex to teach other people, but Jason and I could play it.
The teaching is awful,
and it would be fine.
Yeah,
as you can see, as I remember it so well. But still, it's my 122. It was still a very good game. Lewis and Clark, The Expedition.
All right, so my number 122, I'm going to try to explain, because this game is really hard to explain.
I've never played it, so I can't help you.
It's called Craftsmen. So what you're doing in this is, at its core, you are trying to build these factories that are going to generate goods that you can use those goods in another factory that you build to convert those into other goods, which you can take those goods, put them on a boat, ship them off, and score some money.
Isn't it Le Havre? But with
It's
more
like,
steps?
It's like Le Havre, but this machine is really complicated. So, like, you can have a tablet. I've only played this with Brandon in one time because it's a pain in the neck to teach. We had cards that were like 32 cards long. And when we ran our machine, we were running 32 cards to get like 4 goods. And then we're selling those 4 goods onto the boat, trying to earn a bunch of money. There's some worker placement stuff where you can go and, like, if you stack on top of people, you get first dibs. If you go after them, they have to pay you like some rent to use the space. It's a lot of rules.
Why is this game so high then on your list?
Because I liked it. The rulebook is the worst rulebook I've ever read in my entire life. It's the same designer that did Thrash and Roll from Poland.
Which is also a bad robot.
So he's not, I don't know, probably translation issues or something, but it's a fun game. I enjoyed playing it with Brandon, but it's just teaching every space of it. Like, each section of the board takes about 15 minutes to explain because there's so many little fiddly rules. And then you got your engine down here. That's a madness. So 122 Craftsmen, it's a good game, but it's really hard to explain and teach and play and win and want to bring it back off the table because it's hard to explain, teach, and play.
Explain, so I've never played it.
Yeah.
My 121 is a game from BoardGameTables.com, which I always think is hilarious that they actually make board games. I think this might have been their first one. It's really fun, and that game is On Tour. So On Tour is a roll and write. You are a band, and you're going on tour through the United States, or the new one also has Europe as an option, which I think is cool. You get the world tour. You are rolling 2 dice. You will use the numbers forwards and backwards, 45, 54. To plug into your map, you've got these regions that turn over that show you where these numbers can go, and you're trying to make a connection as long as you can through as many states or countries as you can for the tour of your band. It is that simple.
Sounds easy.
Sounds easy. It is a brain burner. Oh my goodness. I'm like, where do I put this number? Am I going to go here? I don't know. Florida's out. Florida's out. We're not going to Florida. Okay. Well, can I get it here? Ooh, do I want to take a risk? Can I get like a 52 in between the 45 and the 54? I don't know. Can I go to Milwaukee? It is like a lot of mental juggling, but I really like that, to solve that problem, to make it work. I also am very good at this game, and it's a game of numbers. I don't understand how I'm good at this game because it's not generally my thing. But I like kind of that puzzliness of this. And really, roll, flip some cards, write your numbers.
Yeah, or put an X. Yeah,
or put an X. Like, that's really it. But just that challenge of where am I going to set these numbers? How am I going to try to preserve this continuous number line as much as I can, I think is a great challenge. So I really like it. So that's my 121 On Tour.
It's a good one. It's on my list somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know where.
My number 121. I don't know if anybody's talked about this yet. It doesn't sound familiar.
No, I don't know where it is on my list.
And it is called The Networks. So this is a game about running a public access TV network. It doesn't say that, but they feel like that.
I don't think it's public access.
Oh, maybe they just feel like that to me.
Some's prime time.
Yeah, I guess
you start
that's
with
true.
some public access stuff.
Yeah, that's true. It feels like I'm running like a PBS or something. Just that's always the feeling I get. But you're running a TV channel, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to get different programs slotted into different time slots. I think it goes from like 8, 9, 10.
That's it.
Yeah, 8, 9, and 10.
Just 3 hours.
And then you're trying to get actors or actresses, guest stars, and advertising to run on these shows. Because you're trying to get as many eyeballs, viewers on each of these shows as you can to score the most points. So a viewer is a rating, and you're trying to get the highest ratings over the course of the game. If you put a show that wants to be in the 9 o'clock time slot in the 9 o'clock time slot, you get extra points. If you get certain types of actors or actresses with a certain type of show, you get extra points. If you get certain ads running, you're going to get extra money and certain extra points. It's pretty easy. It's effectively like a drafting. I'm going to take a card from the tableau, the offering here, and I'm going to do something with it. I might run an ad. I might put it in a time slot. I might have to retire another show, all that kind of thing. So it's pretty easy to play, but the decisions that you can make are really fun and interesting, and it's fun seeing the parodies of all the shows and all the actors. All the advertisements are really funny. It's a great game. So if you haven't tried it, check it out. We also have an expansion that we haven't played yet, but maybe eventually. And that is 121, The Networks.
We have played some.
The Executives? Have we done that?
We played Teletime, which is
so we have a couple
an
expansions.
expansion. Yeah. I thought maybe we played the Executives, and then we also played the 2-player. I did talk about this on the podcast in the 80s.
Oh, that's why. It's been like 6 weeks ago.
It's been a while. Yeah, I really like this game a lot. So the last one I want to talk about tonight, since we've already been yammering on for an hour, is a game that Jason already talked about, and we were like struggling to explain. You want to pull it out? And that game is Sentient.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I don't know what it is.
I haven't played this game in a while, and that's really, I think that's sad because it's a game that really surprised me that I actually liked it. So this is from Renegade, which I don't feel like I like a lot of their games. Then I look around, I'm like, oh, maybe I do.
We have a lot of their games.
We do. So in this, like, it's like a strange theme, like technology, robots, futuristic stuff, and I hate that theme. But this game is really fun because it's another one of those puzzly type games. So you got these, five dice on your board. And you are then bidding on cards or drafting cards to go in between each die. Yes, it's a sleeper hit. Yes, Fred, thank you.
Yeah, the bidding is kind of like it's like an auction, but like through area control, yeah.
And so you're taking these cards, and the cards on them have like some kind of quotient? No, some kind of product.
Yeah, some kind of math problem.
Like,
yeah.
One side plus the other side equals 7, or each side equals 3, or the left side is greater than the right side. And so you're sliding these cards in between these dice to try and make that true. Whatever that problem is on the card, true, or whatever the outcome is, true. So, like, and also they affect the cards. Then also have effects on the dice. They can make them go up or down or stay the same. And so you have to watch that too. Like, it's like some serious puzzly goodness. Again, not a very difficult.
That you liked it.
I know. I don't understand why I like this game. It has a theme I hate. Oh, the color's pretty.
The color, the art, yeah, the color on the box is really awesome.
Even the colors that they use, I really like. It's very pleasing to the eye. I hate robot futuristic themes in games, and I also hate math. I hate math. That's why I teach English. But this game, there's something about I don't know if it's because it's challenging me, and it's, again, it's not like calculus, which I did not do well at. It's basic math that I am like, I think it's because it makes me feel like a genius when I get it to work. I'm like, yes, like, you can do math.
When you manipulate those dice, it does feel good.
It's great. It's like, ooh, oh yeah, this one will go right here, and then this will go up, and this will go up. Bam, I did it. Like, that feels great. But then that one die that you just affected is going to affect this card next to it. Like, it just, all those different pieces work together so well. I agree. It just, you feel so satisfied when you work that out, I think is why it's so great. And then it's so frustrating, but you're working on it and going through it. I just really enjoy that game. I've been meaning to have my sister, who's an accountant, play this game because I feel like this is her jam. Absolutely. And maybe she'll hate it. I don't know. The last game I thought she would like, I think she hated. So who knows? I love it.
She probably hated it for spite.
It's my 120. That's Sentient.
Yeah, and the thing that I think is interesting is you're doing this like bidding for cards, and it seems like, well, it doesn't matter. But then it comes back at the end of the round, and it does matter. You're going to be getting some multipliers for all this card that you've acquired. So, like, yeah, I'm trying to get this card that I want, but I'm also, I need to make sure that I'm getting the appropriate little tile that I need for the multiplier. It's crazy.
I know. On tour, super mathy. Sent you super mathy.
That's JD.
I know. I don't understand it. I really don't like math, but I think it's because when I do well at these games, it makes me feel like I'm Albert Einstein. I'm like, yes, I've discovered the theory of relativity. Like, it makes me feel so great about myself. And that's why I think I've had good experiences and done well in those games, so they move up higher on my list. If I lost them often enough, they would probably drop off. I'm woman enough to admit that. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right, my number 120, the last one I'm going to talk about, is a game that I've only played one time. And
really?
Yeah, I played this with Brandon one time.
Oh, Aquasphere is the one that you played more.
Oh, yeah, I played that a lot of times. This is from, what's that say?
Rio Grande.
Rio Grande. Vladimir Suchi is the designer, and it's called Underwater Cities.
It's over there, in case you were wondering
Yeah,
why I
right
keep
there.
looking
you
over there.
You can't see that? It's right there.
It's right there.
So this is a game about building an underwater city. And the way that you're doing that is you're going to be using this submarine. It's like your worker. It's going to go to different locations. Going to let you do different things. It may let me play some cards. It may let me build some buildings, produce some goods that my buildings are producing, build some pathways from one building to another. And then that's it. It kind of feels... Sorry, I was reading the comment. It kind of feels like Terraforming Mars-ish, where you're playing cards down in front of you and you're using the cards as like the abilities to trigger off of other cards and all that kind of thing. But this one has a worker placement piece to it that Terraforming Mars doesn't also have. And I've heard that people think Underwater Cities is better than Terraforming Mars. I don't agree. That's why it's lower. And I played Terraforming Mars a lot more. But I'd like to play this again because I like the mechanism of building the underwater cities on my player board and trying to make the network so I can score some points. I like that piece. I don't necessarily know if I like all the rest of it as much, but I do like the player board stuff. So my number 120, Underwater Cities. And this looks, art-wise, like 100 times better than Terraforming Mars.
Doesn't take much. I've never played this one. Or Aquasphere. I just get them confused because they're both about doing things underwater with submarines, I think.
Maybe. I've only played it once, and it's been like a long time ago.
No.
Yeah.
I guess I don't play. Okay, so we've rambled on long enough. I want to recap because we went from 134 to 120, so almost 15 games. And then we'll call it a night. So my number 134 was Tang Garden, which, Fred, now that you're on here, I have to thank you. You were like, you need to play this, and I did, and it made my list. 133 is After the Empire. 132, London Dread, which Jason's still trying to figure out. 134, Spell Smashers, which is not a dungeon crawl, no matter what Jason thinks. 130, Colosseum. 129, The Hunger. 128, Deception, Murder in Hong Kong. 127, Ancient Terrible Things. 126, Pandemain, Traditional Farmer's Bread. 125, Legendary, Marvel deck building game. 124, Gambler. 123, Seven Wonders Duel. 122, Lewis and Clark, The Expedition. 121, On Tour. And 120, Sentient.
Mine are 134, Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, or whatever I said before.
That's the right one. You can see it right there.
I can't see that far. My number 133 is Minecraft Builders and Biomes. 132, Don't Turn Your Back. 131, Electronic Mall Madness, the one I'm most excited about on this whole list. 130 is Meadow. 129, The Lord of the Rings. 128, Dark Tales. 127, HomeStretch. 126, Yamatai. 125, Sanssouci. 124, Paladins of the West Kingdom. 123, Holmes, Sherlock, and Mycroft. 122, Craftsmen. 121, The Networks. And 120, Underwater Cities.
So that's it for this evening. I hope you found maybe you heard some new games that you haven't played before that you'd like to.
Like Gambler. Electronic Moments.
Electronic Moments. Good luck finding that, though.
Yeah, one that works at least. A good one. Like you can find the new busted one from Who Wants That Mess. The good one from the 80s is what you want.
I know. I wish I'd cut mine.
You don't need to have it right there.
I know. But we wouldn't have had to buy it.
That's true. That's true.
To save money.
That's true.
You know how we are. And we love to hear from you guys. Also, thanks for jumping in the chat. Telling us what games you like. If you've played it, if you haven't, suggesting new games to us. That's how I learn about stuff because I don't pay attention to any of the blogs or Paladins of the West Kingdom.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah, we'll show you. There's a lot in that series. They all kind of look the same.
Hurts my back. There's so much stuff in here. This
Paladins
is
of the West Kingdom.
it. It was on. Okay, yeah.
We should have you play Chrissy Orleans because I think it's a more streamlined version of that game. There's a lot going on in that one, in my opinion.
I'll put my elbow.
Gonna have to nurse Jason back to health because apparently he can't turn around in a chair.
I hit my funny bone and it's not funny.
Anyway, I have Jason put his list over top of my face because I realize my facial expressions are real crazy.
So you see me like looking around being weird, and then you see my list. And you see nothing of Katie. I mean, I can see her out of my eyes. I'm just trying to look at her because I know she's making faces at me.
I can't turn it off. Thankfully, when I teach school, I wear a mask, so my students don't get to see the full facial expression I'm making towards them. Jason's gamer's elbow.
I do.
Yes,
it's a real thing. Don't make fun.
Oh my gosh, you gonna try to get work on comp?
Yes.
No.
If only we had. If
only we actually made any money from what we do. So we will do another video probably this week because I'm done teaching and grading for the holidays.
We can probably finish this off.
So yeah, we'll probably finish up the last 20 this week. Also, join us on the podcast. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, I think everywhere. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, we should be.
Or YouTube. Our podcast goes to YouTube as well.
That's true.
Because we are doing the top 100. And this week we're talking about the 20s. So it's like our top 20. Like, this is real serious. Some real good stuff in there. I feel like we should have some crossovers there, but I don't know. We'll find out.
We should. It's what, 32, 21, yeah? We're probably going to have some stuff.
I would think so.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for hanging with us. Thank you guys so much for chatting with us. We'll be around soon. I'm Katie.
And I'm Jason.
Keep gaming, everybody.
Keep gaming. All right, I'm going to shut it off. Don't say anything inappropriate yet.
Yeah, I'll just save it. As soon as you shut off, I'm just going to have like a stream of swear words come out.